Hey guys, it's Will, Potato Strong here. I thought I'd do a little summary of some of the things I found over the past week, so I'm calling it This Week in Plants. Just things that I've been reading and learning about. I thought I'd share these with you. I've got this thing called getpocket.com. There's a pocket app, and you can sort of tag things that you find, and it puts them all on a single page. First thing here was this insulin article here by Dr. Linda Carney. A lot of people kind of talk about insulin, glycemic index, and they think that insulin is the fat store hormone. And the funny thing is, there's this graph here which shows the insulin spikes from different food in the insulin index, and fish and beef are highest than anything else, like way higher than rice and potatoes and bread. So if people are paleos and other types, people are going to worry about insulin. They should worry about the meat and the fish. So it's a good article. It talks about insulin, and just the fear that people have of carbs and how it raises insulin. It's just, to me, it's calories in and out. It's not really. You shouldn't just worry about trying to avoid carbs. Sugar is not the cause of diabetes. It's just a symptom. It's really the fat. There's another article I'll talk about in a bit. I'm going to put all these links to these articles in the description so you can check them out. This is this is a video I found. Chef AJ had commissioned somebody to record this tune called I Heard McDougall. It's kind of an homage to Dr. McDougall. Let's just play a little bit of it here.
Read his books or watch a show. He'll tell you what you need to know. This man has raved and told us starch was a good thing long ago. Now you're thinking about all those other diets. There was Atkins, you recall. And the South Beach folks think they are right. They say no carbs at all. I heard McDougall. I heard McDougall. He said you gotta go for starch. I heard McDougall.
That's a hilarious video. You guys got to check that out. I mentioned in an earlier video there's a couple of webinars online. So there's this Food Revolution. There's audio interviews with John Robbins and a variety of doctors and other people, other experts. And right now there's Paul McCartney was today, but they've had Dr. Grieger on there. They've had different doctors that you could do replays actually and listen to some of the recordings. And another one was video interviews with Roseanne Oliveira from UC Davis. And there's a whole bunch of videos. There's some really good cooking tips. This guy was talking about frying onions without any water at first to kind of bring out the sugars and caramelize and intensify the flavor of the onions instead of just using water and boiling them. So there's some interesting tips. Talks about fat and oil, Juliana Heaver, and then there's the perfect potato. Some good stuff on cooking. Protein, how much protein we need from Andy Bellotti, the registered dietitian. And genetics, are we born to be fat? So that's a good one. There's lots of good stuff there. What else? So I found this, if you've checked out the Vegan Corner, it's a great channel on YouTube. They've got this falafel recipe. I made falafels recently and I put them inside of a whole wheat wrap, and I made a tzatziki sauce with silken tofu. And that was really good. Cucumber. Actually, if you go to my photos page on Potato Strong on Facebook, you get to see all the pictures in one group here. So here's the tray of falafels. put them in a wrap. Here's it with it. You can see inside. Tzatziki, cucumber is really good. So you guys should check them out. I just made a salsa as well that they had a recipe for. It was really good, like a raw salsa. Similar to the one on protein, there's this article Dr. Grieger did about fat toxicity. So insulin receptors are being blocked by the fat, and that affects the insulin's ability to get glucose into the cells. So the glucose builds up in the blood. And so a lot of people think that diabetes and sugar is the cause of all sorts of problems, but it turns out it's usually the fat and the protein, the animal stuff. So that's a good article to check out. There's one from a pharmacist, plant-based pharmacist, on coconut oil. And the cool thing is a lot of people think coconut oil is great and everything, but medium chain triglycerides and all that, but it's actually really high in saturated fat, more than a lot of animal products, and it's just high in calorie, 100% fat. But he actually talks about the science. It's all based on science, like and the stuff that Alzheimer's is not really. There's no real science for these claims, but and there's a lot of he actually quotes a bunch of studies specifically that looked at coconut oil. So you definitely want to check that out. It's a good one. And he also did an article on making sense of medical studies. So that's kind of how to understand a study, to look at what type of study it was, and understand the study, and not to use your emotions to really look at the study objectively. It's really difficult, but try to look at them, read the actual study. Shows you how to find studies, and various sites and statistics, getting some help with if you want to understand some statistics and basic anatomy and physiology. So there's some it's a good article in this day and age, because there's lots of stuff coming out that it's better to understand a little bit more than just to accept what somebody tells. Another good channel is Pam Popper, Dr. Pam Popper. She's got this article. I tagged it on muscle building supplements. It talks about testicular cancer. A lot of weightlifters and bodybuilders are taking supplements, and she discusses the effects of those supplements, the negative effects. This was a interesting tweet by Worf from Star Trek, Next Generation, if you've seen that. Just the Klingons are noted for eating a lot of meat and animals and stuff like that, and this is kind of interesting that he's a vegan in real life, Michael Dorn. So that was kind of cool. It's always fun to see another celebrity who's eating healthy. And lastly, there's a really good article Dr. Gavis talked about. He's a bariatric surgeon, but he's really getting into plant-based diets, and he talks about a couple of things related to the dairy industry that they're really pushing back now and getting on social media. And there's a study where they compared people that ate cheese, milk, and butter, and they found that people that ate cheese had a slightly lower level of metabolite called TMAO, which has been known to be associated with heart disease. So because of that, they thought, they said it's healthy, but all they did was compare 3 really bad options. And, just saying cheese has a lower TMAO than butter, that's all it really said. They talk about the French paradox, which, if you don't know, is saying that the French can eat a lot of fat and stuff, and they don't really have the heart disease. But a lot of the doctors, when people died, they didn't really log it as a heart attack. They just, allocated it to old age and stuff like that. So he's got some articles. He's got links to the studies, what the milk industry is going to be doing, and the original article that talked about the study. So, and then he's got a link to an article that showed that all the studies that have been funded by industry have never shown a negative result, because obviously these companies are paying for getting positive news about their products. So that's a really good one. So these are some of the things. I find a lot of other things. If you want to follow me on Twitter, which is Potato Strong, twitter.com/Potato Strong, I post things that I find there, and also on my Facebook.com/Potato Strong page, I share articles and stuff like that, what I eat. So it's not 100% of everything that I found, but these are kind of the highlights. And if you like this idea, let me know in the comments below. I'm just going to give some links that are in the description that you can check out. These are things that I found over the past week or so, and that I thought I would point out to you guys so you can check them out. And one other thing I just thought of, I'm taking this course, which I mentioned before, called The Ethics of Eating. So you might want to check that out on edx.org. So you just go there and type in Ethics of Eating. I'll put a link in the description as well. But it's kind of comparing what the people in industry are saying about how they raise animals and how they, the confinement and the gestation crates and Temple Grandin and her concepts, and then comparing that to some of the other ethical aspects. And so that's a good one to check out. So hope you guys like this. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and hopefully this helps you guys. Talk to you later.